All right, today is December 29th. 10 days down now. Just had my partner's son and her mom leave for a couple of hours. I'm going to get in a nice long run. I'm going to try to get, so I got 7.5 last time, 7.75, I think, with walking. So I'm going for 8 minimum today, which will be a fantastic run for me. I'm trying to get really towards 10. I think once I get 10 miles on the treadmill, then I'll be able to do the 5 miles on the trail. I'm definitely feeling fatter than I have been. And I think that, of course, goes back to diet and exercise, which I've been pretty good about exercise. I think I missed a couple of days this past week, which is unusual for me, but not the end of the world. I'm okay with that every once in a while because my body is a little older. It takes a little bit more time to recover. So I'm okay missing a day or two here or there. I don't like it. I don't love it at all. And that's okay. Um, I do not love it. And I have a hard time not working out because sometimes that's probably the thing that I need to do the most is to not work out and just rest my body. And of course, not eat so much. I've been listening to Jim Rohn a lot lately. There's a 4 hour session podcast recording of Jim Rohn on Spotify, and it's really good. I love his style. It's not anything that I could recreate. He's got his way he talks, probably the way he walks around the room. It's distinctive. It's Jim Rohn. If you've ever heard him talk, it's always the same. Every speech is different, but the way he talks is always the same. It resonates with me, even if it's old. I think the thing I was listening to was 1990, 1993, something like that. So we're going back a long ways now. But what he says is just as pertinent today as it was back then. I'm going to talk about the philosophy, and that's a big one. I need to change my philosophy into I am somebody who eats healthy. I am somebody who doesn't just mindlessly eat because food is my biggest thing. And then I am somebody who picks up the phone and talks to people and isn't scared of doing that, which is not where I'm at now. So some of this is going to be aspirational. It's going to have to be because I'm not where I want to be, both as a person, as a man, as a father, as a business owner, as an employee. I fill all these roles and I have room to grow in all of these. And I'm really looking for Guy Kawasaki, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Um, he says he still, at least when he wrote the book, attends a couple of seminars every year. And I can't remember which thing said it, but if you do what successful people do, then you'll also be successful. So part of me wants to follow in the footsteps of successful people so I too can be successful. So if I can find some seminars that are going to make me a better person, a better businessman, a better dad, whatever, then it's time well spent. I did upgrade my equipment yesterday, which maybe is not the most time well spent or money well spent, but um, hopefully it will be. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in my life, but things that are faster and better, et cetera, right? It's got to be good. I do notice a difference in the camera, for better or worse. But I really need to focus myself this next year. 2025, I think I have all my goals written down. And I'm kind of excited about this. Like I've never had such clarity about what I want to accomplish in 2025 from a business standpoint. I have on a personal side. Absolutely, I have. And I haven't done as much on the personal side because it's pretty easy. I want to do X, I want to do Y, which I've been saying forever. I just need to actually do it. But on the business side, I've never had, like, I went this, and this. All right, I drilled down about how to get there for the most part. Like, I know what activity probably I need to do to get there, although there's still some questions there, question marks about how do I get from where I am now to there. But I'll flush that as we go. And I think starting out, I have the right stuff in the pipeline. It's going forward where I'm going to have to really push, and this is where the whole vulnerability thing, accountability thing, they both come together. I'm not good at that. I need somebody pushing me. So I need to really find what was a mentor, an accountability coach, something, your accountability partner that will actually do it, will actually push me. Because in all my days, since I've been doing this, I have not actually had anyone who challenged me, pushed me. It's always been, oh yeah, it's okay. I could try again next week. I need somebody beyond that, beyond just a buddy that's saying it's okay. Somebody who's going to truly 100% hold me accountable. You said you were going to do this, but it has to be somebody in the same realm, right? Like, it can't be, got a lot of great friends. I love them to death, but they're all employees, so they don't get it. Whereas if I had some friends that were in the same kind of industry, not the same industry, but where they're business owners and they had to have certain production um, to meet their goals, then that would feel like a better partnership for this. And I don't really have that. I think a couple of my work buddies do that with each other, but I don't know how much they're really holding each other to it. And I need somebody who's gonna actually hold me to it and be like, dude, you said this. I gotta find it. I gotta find it. I need the accountability both on personal and business, but the business is where I need to really push this year. Not that personal, I don't, but on the business side, I mean, I've got to. Otherwise, I got to rethink things. I got to rethink how I'm doing things. I got to rethink what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, who I'm doing it for. But I got some great ideas, but ideas don't get us there. But I really like some of the things that I'm going to implement. It's just a matter of actually implementing them, getting it done. I don't need buy-in from my partner, but it does mean I'm going to have to separate and go my own way as far as individual things go. Um, Not in a manner where we can't work together, but just like, okay, these are mine, those are yours. These are going to do this way, my way. Those will do whatever way you want to. And I think I'm excited about that because I'm finally at a point where I think I know what I want. I'm done just following and doing what I'm supposed to. For me, evolutionarily, as far as my business goes, it's big. And I think the payoffs will be huge. And if I can replicate that, and maybe with the rest we can do that. But for now, I have to go it alone, which is always kind of scary. But as an entrepreneur, you're always on your own. You always are. I have a business partner, but we're still kind of doing our own thing at times too. So while I'm not alone, I'm also alone. So you're always alone. And I think people who get a salary or have wages, right? Like, they get paid their employee, they don't necessarily understand. There's no salary. If you don't produce, you don't get anything. And commission people get that. But there's a safety net for them. When you're an entrepreneur and you know, when you got to produce, you're on your own. There's no safety net. No one to call home. No one who can come rush in and save the day. Our head guy at our agency, He's great, but he's a businessman. And if you're not pulling your weight, tough, right? I mean, that's businesses fail all the time. It'll just be another one that failed. So you got to push and you got to push and you got to push and get it to a certain point where maybe you don't have to push as hard, but I'm not there. In fact, I need to push harder than I ever have. And I came into this industry and I did a lot of the work and I had a big ramp up. But now I understand things and I'm getting a better handle on how things work. And now I think I'm ready. It's going on 6 years now. I've seen how the industry works. I've seen what works. I've seen what doesn't work. And I know what I want to have work for me. And so this next part is where I take that step. I take that step and fully make it mine. Or if it doesn't work, then okay. Well, at least we tried and we can go back to a different system. But I want to try what I want, right? Not just because I want to, but because I think it's the better way. I think it's going to pay off in spades. This what I'm going to be able to offer is going to be so far beyond and so much better than what I'm currently doing, and I'm super psyched about it. And so that's my plan, man. I am excited about it. I'm going to make it happen. Still a lot of work between now and the start of the year. I mean, it's already started for me technically, but as far as 2025 officially, January 6th is probably the day that I'm really starting. And I want at least some of this in place. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I just kind of want it mostly in place by then. So that's a lot between now and next week. So I'm going to have to push and make sure I get that done. Man, I guess that's my big giant overall accountability for this next really week, right? I mean, going beyond the day, but for the week of December 30th, man, get those in place and be ready to come gunning January 6th. Ready to just fire and go and make 2025 my best year ever. And I think it's doable. So let's get out there and get it.